Hey everybody, I thought I'd share with you my own little sort of happiness PSA, and I wanted to focus in on the concept that timing is everything. My PSA is probably going to be too long to be on an actual radio station, but let's go anyway. So really what I wanted to talk about was how we can hack our routines to make every minute count to really boost happiness and flourishing. So first off, 6 a.m. we should wake up. And ideally, have sex if you have the opportunity. If you are male, your testosterone tends to be highest in the morning. But you know what? If you are female, that's true too. And testosterone is the hormone that drives sex interest. So have sex in the morning. After that, have some breakfast. They suggest that you eat within 2 hours of waking because that speeds up your metabolism, it boosts your mood, it increases energy. A lot of people don't like to eat first thing in the morning, but even just a small piece of fruit or some nuts can really kick off that metabolism and boost your mood. 7:45 after you've eaten breakfast, go on outside and get some exercise. They say that sunlight and exercise helps us to wake up, and there is a lot of research that has been pointing to the idea that working out outside actually boosts your mood. So whenever you can, if you can get out into nature to do your exercise, that's going to help with happiness. 8:45, if you have any emails to send them now because you're more likely to get a response around 10 a.m. And so you want to get those emails into people's email boxes prior to that 10 a.m. time when most people start checking their emails. If you want to regain control of your emails, if you're like me who tries to work on the computer and the email is always pinging and distracting you, the recommendation for boosting happiness and productivity is to quit your email app and then reopen it again in the afternoon, check all your emails, and then close it again so that it doesn't interrupt you. That drives my students crazy, but it's something I do. 9:30 a.m. is a good time for a coffee break. Your cortisol production is highest between 8 and 9 a.m., so you already are a little bit energized thanks to the natural cortisol production. So you're going to need a little boost between 9:30 and 11:30. The best way to consume coffee, if you want to get the best benefits as far as energy and happiness, is to sip your coffee rather than drink it quickly. So if you really like your coffee to be hot, you want to maybe drink it in smaller cups and keep refilling because you want to sort of drag out the dosage, basically, of the caffeine. 10 a.m. is when you honestly are going to sit down and get to work and, for example, check your emails, something I already mentioned, right? But getting started at work, on average, most people are at their most alert and their most focused at about 10 a.m. About 10 to noon is when people are the absolutely most focused and alert. If you want to keep your mood up and you want to keep your productivity up, you actually want to take a break every hour. The best thing that you can do is a 17-minute break for every 52 minutes that you work. I don't know how many bosses really would approve this kind of strategy, but this is what is recommended if you have control over your schedule, especially if you're working on a paper or doing something that you might be thinking, I'm going to sit down and just power this out. I'm not getting out of this chair until I get it done. If you want to boost productivity and boost your mood, the best thing that you can do is to say, I'm going to work for 52 minutes, set a timer, and then give yourself 17 minutes of break. That's the perfect balance. When you take the break, do something that is intrinsically different from whatever you're doing for work. They recommend not doing like a game on your smartphone or something like that because those are hard to quit. You know what? You don't want to quit till you've beaten it. Next thing you know, your 17-minute break has turned into a 30-minute break. So doing something that's intrinsically different from work. So if work has you sitting at a desk, get up and move around. If work has you moving around, sit down and put your feet up. Do something significantly different. If you're doing a lot of talking or a lot of personal interaction with other people, then read for a little while. You just figure something that you can do that's very different so your brain can have a change up and that's easy to stop. So like reading with an actual book or on an e-book is easy to just sort of put the bookmark in it and stop reading. You can always find where you were when you come back. It's a little harder if you're like listening to a book on tape or something like that. You know, like to literally stop them in the middle of the sentence because 17 minutes is up. It's kind of difficult. So think of something that you can take an easy break from the break work, right? It should take your brain off of what you've been doing so far. At noon, you should have lunch, and the best bet is to eat your largest meal of the day at lunch, not at dinner. It boosts metabolism, helps to maintain healthy weight. As far as mood and productivity, you want to leave your workstation if you're a person who's at work during the day, or if you have a flipped shift and so maybe dinner is your lunch, you want to leave your workstation. A lot of people try and be efficient and eat where they work, but you need to have that separation and that sort of mental recharging to get that benefit of having taken a break and eaten. Now, of course, if you eat a larger meal at lunch, there's a possibility that it's going to make you a little drowsy, and that's not uncommon. So they recommend that if you have control, take an actual nap at 1 p.m. About 20 to 40 minutes is maximum. You want to set some kind of alarm or something that can cue you that your time is up and wake you up. If you don't, you might have difficulty falling asleep because your brain is sort of like, I wonder how much time has passed. Is it time for me to get up anyway? And so what you want to do is be able to actually fall asleep with the assurance that this alarm is going to wake you back up. Don't sleep past 40 minutes. You'll get too deeply asleep, and then it'll be hard to wake up. Taking this kind of power nap improves your focus, improves your cognition, improves your mood for the rest of the day, and so it's a really good strategy if you can do it. I saw this napping hood that you can buy on Amazon. That was pretty hilarious. I'd love to see one of you in the, on campus taking a nap like this. If you don't have time to nap, right, maybe you don't have the kind of job where you can sit down and put your head in a hood for 20 minutes, do something that's very routine, that doesn't take very much thought. So from 1 to 2, schedule those times that you have to just sort of mindlessly photocopy things, or save that time for maybe mindless data entry where your fingers can basically do the work and your brain doesn't have to be engaged. Something like that. Try not to schedule creativity and things during that period. 2:15 should be your last caffeine of the day. This is going to be a shocking piece of news for a lot of people, but caffeine takes about 4 hours to leave your system, and so you want to have your system pretty clear of caffeine when it's going to be time for you to go to bed. It's a lot harder to go to sleep if you've got caffeine in your system. It can disrupt your sleep. It can cause you to sort of wake up even after you have fallen asleep. So your best strategy is to do caffeine early in the day and then not after about 2:15. If you're at work or school, they say 2:45 is a great time to call home and reach out and make contact with your kids or your spouse or somebody else who might be at home, because this is a time of day when a lot of times people are home and available. So if you are and then also it boosts your mood to have that kind of social support. So, budget into your afternoon break an opportunity to touch bases with someone you love. 3 o'clock is a good time to hold meetings. People are more likely to agree to meetings that are being held at 3 than at other times of the day, and it might be because those meetings are self-limiting. You have to be done by 5, so I know I'm not going to be stuck here more than 2 hours. So if you're in charge of meetings, this is a good time of day to hold it. If you have a normal, sort of 8 to 5 schedule, obviously you might want to shift these times around based on what your employment does. The best meeting time of the week would be to hold a meeting on Tuesday at 3 o'clock. People are more likely to agree to come to meetings on Tuesdays than other days of the week because they've sort of caught up from the weekend. They're not, sort of behind already from the week, and so Tuesday's a really good time to hold those meetings. 4 o'clock, they say to have a snack. You should eat about every 3 to 4 hours to keep your mood up and to keep your energy up and your focus. And the best kind of snack is something that combines some kind of protein and complex carbohydrates. So those carrots and broccoli are a great example. If those Ritz crackers are whole wheat, they might be an okay complex carbohydrate. And then, of course, some kind of protein. In this picture, it's hummus. It could be yogurt. It could be a hard-boiled egg, whatever it is. You don't want to eat a lot because it's 4 o'clock. We're getting close to dinner time, but we want to have enough to fuel us through the rest of the day. 4:30 tends to be a really good time for most people to do creative thinking. You're already kind of worn out from the day, and so you are less likely to self-criticize. Your back of your brain is not sitting there saying, oh, that's a stupid idea, nobody wants to hear it. It's sort of gone to sleep, it's tired, and so your innovative thoughts are more likely to come forward. So 4:30 to 5 p.m. is a great time to sort of just think about things that you might need to be creative about, maybe make quick notes, kind of record those, and then in the morning when you're a lot more energetic, see if any of those good ideas could actually be implemented. Dinner time should be about 6 p.m. They say you should consume your last calories of the day by 7 p.m. in order to maintain healthy weight and to maintain the blood sugar levels and all of the things that will help to maintain a happy outlook and to help you flourish physically and mentally. So that's my very too long to be a PSA on happiness, and actually kind of a little bit more into productivity and some other things that I thought maybe I'd share with you guys since I made you do the happiness exercise this week. All right, well, hopefully you enjoyed that.